He's thinking up a storm right now. You can hear the engine in his brain going. Hey, remember how I said I don't want to do this? I did it anyway. I mean, a win's a win. We take those. What do we do when your piece is in trouble and you can't save it? Take their piece. Very nice indeed. And if anyone else here knows what else is nice, we're going to start our rapid portion of the evening where I'm going to try to get all the way up to 2,000 rating eventually. It's going to take me a while, but I'm prepared for it. So let's start. Okay, last time I left off, I believe, is, yes, just below 1,700. So you can make our way back above 1,700, hopefully, obviously, and then continue to try to go from there. Okay, we're starting off with a Benoni. It's opening I'm pretty familiar with. I like to play it more as black than white, but I get pushed into it sometimes just because I play d4 a lot. He always brings the knight out there. Usually I'll get a pin here. He'll go up g6, get the bishop fianchettoed at some point likely. I'll get my knight out. A lot of times a6 gets played and you have to play a4 to stop them from going b5, because otherwise if they have a pawn here or here and on c5, that is powerful. He does fianchetto. I do not like the Benoni for black when they don't fianchetto. Having this G pawn moved up to g6 and the bishop on g7 is a very powerful line of attack across the board that's opened up because white has the d5 and e4 pawns. So not fianchettoing, not a big fan of for black, which means I'm pretty happy for this for my game. So there's the a6 move. It also stops me from going knight b5 and bishop b5 even. So lots of utility with that move, very common. Any castles? I'm getting ready to castle myself. Probably want to play up h3 to stop his knight from coming out. This will keep his bishop locked in. You see his two bishops, neither of them have any squares to move, and I want to keep it that way. Okay, finally moved his knight out, but his bishop's only square to go to is d7. So, yeah, he has to do the long march around all the way over to the king's side. Let's see what he's going to do. Obviously, he wants to get the file opened up, so he moves his bishop back. But again, his bishops are in his starting squares. This is why I do not like it when they don't fianchetto for black. I mean, I like it for myself again, but I don't understand why fianchettoing is so good. Now I'm probably going to get my rook to b1, and then try to open up this file. Say a pawn on e4. There's a lot of stuff I can hit. My bishop's pretty secure over here on h2. Putting a lot of pressure on the d6 pawn eventually, once everything gets completely opened up and the pawns are pushed. Definitely good later on. He's thinking what to do. It's his knight out. Trade knights. He has to stick with a pawn, obviously. Get my rook over here. This does open up for his black bishop, which is a lot nicer for him. Now I gotta actually think where I'm gonna try to go. His bishop can go to d7. Doesn't do much. It's just really hard to think of where he's even gonna go. I don't really see a main plan. I can move my bishop back here. Queen up. That's a move. I'll also move my queen up, I guess. I do want to get here at some point, but there's nothing that's really... Maybe if I get my knight to a2, I can later on move up to b4. The a4 pawn's being defended by my queen. b4 pawn's being defended by a few pieces. And if he pushes, it's taken. So it'll be a trade, and then I can start throwing my rooks behind. He wants me to take, because then he takes, and then this knight's under attack. And then if I push here, he can go here, to c4. So I'm going to go rook c1. He's probably going to go c4. I'm going to have to run my bishop back, and then he's going to take a4. But then I take his c pawn. So that'd work out as a trade, but he'd have double up pawns if he does that. So it keeps everything nice for me. So we're struggling along. There we go, as planned, and then do we see a4? If not a4, I'm going b3, and then we're going to try to trade everything down on this side. I don't see a3 yet. He can't take here now. It's very poisoned. b3 is a no-go for black. So he takes, and then takes, all on c7, and end up a rook. Well, that's going to happen. He could go a4, and I can take back, but then this pawn is going to be very hard to defend, and he's not winning this pawn anymore like he was earlier, so he doesn't even get to walk away with just double pawns, he just walks away down a pawn. Okay, now he's got to figure out where he's going to move next, because right now he's got himself in a bit of a pickle, down a pawn, basically. A little bit difficult. Queen to a5, not bad. Lets him take my a4 pawn after I would take with the bishop. I'm going to do this anyway, because once he takes, I'll come up here, try to attack his queen, but also try to get this pawn. And when he takes, I'll take on my rook, double these up on this file, and also this a6 pawn is hanging. So, again, lots of stuff for me. Slightly advantageous, nothing overwhelming, but all vibes are good vibes so far this game. We're doing well with it. No, nothing's gone bad. Nothing crazy's gone good, but like everything positionally I've been pretty happy with. Okay, queen takes queen, rook takes queen. I figured, what will the follow-ups be? Knight takes pawn? Why can't I just take his knight back? We are playing longer chess, like rapid, so I assume he has a reason. But I really don't see it. That was a crazy move. Did you just think I didn't have another defender on the e4 pawn? I didn't even take his bishop on b5. My rook's still defended by my knight, and I have another attacker going on the e pawn. Okay, that came out of nowhere. He just sacked the knight for no reason. I mean, a win's a win. We take those. That's Kiwi always says. We take those. Kiwi approved moment. Good to know we got the official Kiwi stamp of approval. That knight is in trouble. What do we do when your piece is in trouble and you can't save it? Take their piece. My knight might be in trouble. His bishop's in trouble. He will be the official decider if it's an approved Kiwi moment or not. All right. Good to know we got something official worked out for these circumstances. Now he's realizing, oh yes, I have less than half the time. Down a piece. But he still fights on. My man has a fighting spirit. On a wise fighting spirit. See, his queen, king, basically. Oh, he doesn't even go to g8 to save his pawn. That's a sign he's thrown in the towel, but he's just not willing to resign yet. Okay, well, now I got the rook, too. This is a certified Kiwi moment? Alright, I'd say that is. That was a nice win to start the rapid. Let's get on to game number 2 here. Got that rook. You're on house arrest. What happened? Wixie and Hikaru and Magnus are being charged with something. In court. Oof. Looks rough. Hikaru's still pretty happy. He doesn't care. Looks like Magnus got a bit of a banged up eye. Wix is playing it calm and cool, as you'd expect. Why is Hikaru so damn happy in that photo? He's in court being tried. Doesn't make any sense. Ah, that makes sense. That's why I got the little band-aid there. Still a little bit scratched up, eh? Jumping out of a moving car will do that. Hey, I'm back to focusing on the game now that we've caught up with our car crash victims. Jesus. Ugh. Okay, so he's putting pressure on the king's side. But he has nothing tangible yet to show for it. And in the meantime, if I move my queen out to b6, that puts pressure on the b pawn and the d pawn. So I'm gonna do that. And he can't go f4 yet. That leads to a free pawn. He could go h4. That's several moves. He's gonna bring his pawn from the starting position all the way up the board. It isn't gonna happen anytime quick. Fire him on try to take the b pawn more. Me going here is a pin for him with my knight on d4, pinning to the queen on b6. If I were him, that's a lot better. Yeah, and I think he agrees. I will still go for it, obviously. I see a free pawn, I can't not take it. Might go knight to b5. Although I always do have knight takes c2 check, and then take the bishop check again. So, gotta watch out. Especially if he moves his knight, because then when my knight moves, all of a sudden this bishop's lasering this rook. Move after move after move here. V7806 better be careful. What a username. It's like a robot. It's what are you? I'm like, oh, I'm a GX897. It's like, oh, what are you? It's, I'm V7806. It's like, oh, yes. Did you love it when you destroyed all the humans on Earth? Yes, yes, I did. I should do more of a robot voice. I'm more so doing like a 1960s generic American dad voice. He has a little bit robotic in how I was phrasing it. I want to go here. Let's sack another piece. Sacks are amazing. Although he's also lining up here to sacrifice his pieces on my king's side. which maybe is amazing. They're amazing if it doesn't end up doing anything for him, then I'll agree they're amazing. What? So I'll take here. If he takes here. What? Okay, I'll go here. He'll take there. G6. I have like check to F2. If he went to D1, it'd be a fork with the knight against his queen, so that's losing. So he would probably go to D2. So then if we get our bishop on B5, once I go check here, he has to go here to not get the knight and king forked, which would let my queen take E2, and that would basically be the game, because we get his knight and we get his queen, and we already have 2 pieces. So even a queen trade plus a piece puts up 9 pieces. Assuming he somehow doesn't lose anything else here, which he probably might, put this game in fairly over territory, and he resigns. Nice! Okay. Rapid starts with 2 wins. Play on to another, hopefully. Well, today's been a long day. Good night. Well, good night, Wix. It's always fun having you here. You're a little interesting card chase story with Akaro and Magnus. Was something else to see. I was not expecting him to go C4. That's the issue with accidentally pre-moving. Okay, his knight's in the center of the board. What do I want to do to not keep it there? I could go F3. It's a little drastic, but I think we're safe enough. We got our bishop on F4, which can always fall back to G3 if some shenanigans happen. I just saw that. Pretty much have to. Be very bad over here otherwise on the king's side. Okay. We have to go there. Block the queen. We want bishop back. He can't take here because that's a rook blunder. Take with the bishop. And actually this turned out very well. No, we're up a piece. This queen has to retreat, so we'll probably take the F pawn with a check. He's smart, he retreats his queen to F or yeah, there. In the E file, so we can take the pawn. I'll push up to E4, so we can threaten the C4 pawn. Can't quite take it yet. Might need a knight out here. Could take the D pawn. A little bit sketchy. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I think it's a little bit too sketchy. I don't want my queen on this file. And behind a bishop that's pinned. Okay, now it's. And go here. He has to block with his bishop. So that's another piece traded. We can move our knight to E2 because our knight on D2 is defending our F pawn. So keeping it locked. Looks like he might have something over here, but he doesn't. There's just nothing that's actually going to hit this king's side. Not from the pieces that he has right now. Tries to put pressure on the F pawn. I'm going to block his rook from attacking while putting pressure on the queen. If all else fails and I am running out of options, my queen to E1 locks it down, defending the bishop. We're pretty much as good. And now we wait. Waiting to see what he will do. Moves his queen all the way to H6. Could be threatening to go bishop to H4, in which case moving my queen to E1 would be smart in stopping it. He could be trying to trade his rook for 2 pieces. Either way, I'm gonna have a little fun with this. Just gonna go bishop, queen to B3 check, and then probably follow it up by knight to E6, which does hang this knight. But if he takes that knight, which we'll see if he will, could go bishop to F4. Could go pawn F4 too. Plenty of moves here. I think this is way more interesting than just falling back to the queen, though. You can have my knight, I'll take his knight. When you're up by 4 points, you're always happy to trade. And he's not happy to trade because he's not up by 4 points. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, we'll move our knight to g5, obviously threatening a killer move, knight f7. You know, getting close to a Smothers mate, like one of those that Kiwi pulled off earlier. I doubt he's gonna let me. If I get my knight to f7 anyway, he'll sack the rook for it, but one can hope. I was thinking he probably should just move his rook to f8 to stop my knight. I can push up to e5. Gonna put more pressure on his knight, although that does kind of hang my own knight. Maybe I should just go knight to f3 with my d knight and just put an end to anything he could possibly do to me. And he wins his rook back, confusingly, letting me check him, get a fork, and I'm gonna take that rook. And he has nothing. He can't get the h-pawn, he can't get the f-pawn, even if he moves his rook to f8, which will give up the bishop. He just is down further. Okay. And as I was saying before, knight f3 just locks everything down. Let's get our rook probably on the d file, push up here. Don't even really have to go for a checkmate, just have to let the game progress. Okay, knight to e3, kind of as we figured he might do. Go rook to e1, pushing the knight out of there. Probably might take the fork. Yeah, he does. Cool. Lets us trade down more. Then we can get our rook on the d file and push up. Queen's fairly trapped. He might try to get to h3. It's really his only out right now. So I wouldn't blame him if that's the way he went. But he's gonna have a hard time defending this d pawn, especially once I get my rook over, queen over. I have to, and his queen has vacated the king side. I could even get my knight going working on it. But in the meantime, we're just gonna wait for him to... I mean, basically he's gonna lose the game for himself. Nice position to be in when your opponent's just losing the game for himself. He does not want to resign. He is trying to think up. He's thinking up a storm right now. You can hear the engine in his brain going overdrive, just trying to think of anything to do right now. But he's struggling. Moves his rook out to c8. That is not the move. That doesn't even defend your d-pawn. What is this gonna hit? Okay. He's just a little bit delayed. He figured it out eventually. Maybe that was a misclick. Maybe that was a misclick. Queen attacks the knight. Reasonable move if I wasn't paying attention. He could do some damage to me. Hey, queen up. He could threaten here with a check. So I'm gonna defend that. He also could check here at e2. Both of those aren't the greatest. Go up here. Again, you can take this pawn. That'll be mate. If I want to just take this pawn, he can take that, and there's no... Well, no, that would have been mate too, actually. There's so many mates. So many ways you can win. La-di-da-di-da. Okay, move our knight out. Again, once he's low on time, kind of half the thing is just trade down a few pieces. We already have the game locked up. Probably thinking that anyone can blunder, but got 7 times his time. I think we're not going to be the one who's blundering. See where he plans on going. Oh, all the way back. Oh, that'd be a nice check right there if I let him do that. That'd also be a nice check. Fortunately for him, I'm not gonna let him do any of that. I'll let him have d4. I'll have him a little. I'll give him a little thing as a treat. What's the threat with e1? Takes? Takes with the rook, I'm just queening. Okay. The rook for a pawn. I'm never gonna refuse that. Want my free bishop? Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright, I think I'll do one more rapid to finish this off. See if we go 4 for 4. It'd be a big day. Hey, standard opener. I like, because I've been playing way too many of these openers I don't understand at all. Except with the bishop, makes sense. We want to get our rook on this file too to challenge his. I kind of want to go c5, but at the same time it's not good. Don't want to leave the isolated pawn in the center of the board. That just doesn't lead to fun times. Hey, remember how I said I don't want to do this? I did it anyway. I love going c5. And get the queen going here. Goes like on d6, hits the b2 pawn. It's the f2 pawn with the bishop lined up on it. I know his bishop's defending, but I can't help myself. It's just getting rid of their d pawn is so nice sometimes. Yeah, he wants to go b4 and chase all this away. Crush all my hopes and dreams. I'm not gonna let him do that though. I'm gonna play a5. Gotta fight for my hopes and dreams. At least for a little while until I get bored. Remember kids, only give up on your dreams when you don't feel like trying. Words of advice from Grizzu. Let's take that bishop. I'll be happy to. That'll connect my pawns in the center. There we go. Maybe he'll take my knight. I'll take my other knight. I'm not going to take my g pawn. That's just too many pawns from in front of my king going away. Don't want to do that. Okay, smart. He moves up. Now I gotta come down to decision time. Do I try to push these pawns up in the center? I think I want to. It's a lot of advantage because there's 2 pawns in the center. He has none. Even if he has c4, this is still forking the knight and the bishop at the same time. So, be very worth it. If he has to do a delay move, then I can even, I can go e4 after. And then probably follow it up with d4, because there's still nothing stopping. Yeah, this is pretty powerful, getting these pawns marching. That's a good move by him. Probably we'll go up to e6. If he goes back to f5, maybe I'll go e7 then. I actually don't want to go to here on e7 because then this pawn's weak because this knight is pinned. Okay, he takes. This is actually quite complicated now. So I could take. So I take with the rook, and he takes with the knight. He's defending his bishop, but then this piece can be attacked and get his rook. So if I take, well, you can't take with the rook because then my knight. Yeah, I just think taking the bishop's good here, because then this bishop's attacked and this pawn's being attacked. So there's no downsides to doing it this way. I hope that queen move doesn't change anything. Always gonna get my knight, isn't he? If he gets my knight, I go here, check, hit his rook, and then get his bishop. Oh, still doing it. This sign can't stop me because I can't read. I'm just gonna go full force into this anyway. Nothing's gonna stop me from getting his rook from this fork that I've been trying to set up for so many moves. 6 move checkmate Kiwi. That is insane. Like it was forced the whole way, right? Not just like it was like 6 moves like fairly. Yeah, I think this bishop's. I'd say that bishop's more important than my knight, but I don't know. Okay, my rook goes back to here to defend my knight. His queen has to go to e4 to hit his bishop. I'm gonna follow up with f6. And she can go queen f5. Then I can get my rook on d8, so I've got 2 rooks on the file. He can get my e-pawn then. Depending what he takes with, like if he takes with a knight, be in some serious trouble. Again, once I start to try to exchange. Or I could just take the e pawn this move. No, he doesn't. He did the same thing I thought he was going to do. If I go e4... Yeah, this move is knight out to h4 or d2. If he goes d2, can I go e3? Wait, he went e5? Why did I think he couldn't go e5? I guess there's nothing stopping him, I just didn't think he would. Okay, so he's threatening the fork on my rook. So let's go rook e6, stop that. Keep things simple. You can probably go knight f7, I can go king g8. Trust you, it's the right one? Okay, I will trust you. I'll take a look after this. I want to get rid of this knight. That's in a very annoying position. Maybe if my bishop goes up to d4, there's much you can do about it then. You can go check on f7, I can go g8. Maybe he takes h6. That could be worrisome for sure. Knight takes h6, check. Pretty much have to take. Oh, no, he goes the other way. Okay. Let's exchange queens. Probably push up the e6 in the future. Then I give up my rook, I did. Oh, and we blunder back to them. Unfortunate. Something you want to see. I'll keep fighting in this game, though. For a little bit, at least. We'll see. See if he gives us back a blunder pretty quickly, or if this is gonna be donezo. Could really go either way right now. Well, not really either way. He's crushing me, but he's also taking a long time. He might have some hope. Getting himself in between my queen and my rook is smart, and my bishop. I have to trade, and he'll take. And I'll go c5, and he has e4, and I can take, and he can take with his bishop, so I can't even get his f-pawn. Oh, this is looking even worse than I thought it was. Not where we want to be, not where we want to be, but we can. Maybe he takes the knight, or rook, I mean. Even if he takes with the rook, what's the... no, this game's over. He's not even that low in time. Unfortunate. Oh well, we'll get him next time.